Hi, so I am Maddie Smith, and this is my lesson plan. And this lesson is focused on the second grade, third grade levels, and we are going to be focusing on listening skills. And so for today, these are my students that I will be teaching to, these two. Um, and so some objectives and outcomes that we're going to focus on today in class is being able to recognize and repeat the vocabulary words from videos. Um, and we will have the students be able to work effectively in a group and be able to follow basic instructions. Um, and some key kind of knowledge and skills is how to work in a group, waiting their turn, um, and listening and kind of paying attention to the vocabulary in a recording/video, and then making these connections from the videos to their real life. And so I will go ahead and start the lesson. So first, I'm going to have everyone get this piece of paper. So each student will have this, and we will be doing, I believe, 1 through 8 for this first kind of, warm up of class, and then the next day of the unit, they'll work on the second half. And so I want to have each student work on the first 4 on their own, and then the last few will work with a partner at your table. So no help from each other, just focus on doing them for yourself. So we're going to start with number 1 and 2. And so we're going to be watching a short video clip of a movie, and you have to find which one of these words from number 1 is in the recording. So want, won't, or went. They sound kind of the same, huh? But you need to listen for which one you hear and then circle it or highlight it. And so the first video that we'll be watching, make these kind of fun for kids, is this one. So obviously I wouldn't show the answer key for the students, but so this is the first video. Okay, so first on the page number 1, we are looking at want, won't, or went. So look for want, won't, or went. Which one of those do you hear? And then I'll pause it after the first one. Okay, and that is number 1. So I'll give you a couple seconds to circle or highlight which one you think it is. And then we'll be moving to the second question. All right, number 2. The options are, let's look at it. No, new, knee, and now. So which one of those do you hear in this little clip of English? All right, so that's number 2. Go ahead, fill out those, and then we'll move to numbers 3 and 4. All right. Okay. So look at number 2, and we'll go ahead. Or number 3. 3 and 4. All right, that was number 3. Give you a few seconds. And if you notice, it is a little bit harder because there's more than one person talking. They're having a conversation. They're communicating with each other. And so it could be a little bit more difficult to pick out those small vocabulary words. All right, and we'll go to number 4. All right, there's 3 and 4. Give you a few seconds to think about those. And let's see, we are on 5 and 6. Another little clip. And so with these next 2 videos, you're going to work with your partner. So with your table group, everyone look for the words together, and then we'll give you a second to discuss it after. So numbers 5 and 6. All right, so that was 5 and 6. If you notice, I didn't stop it after one question. You had to do 2 questions within that one. So talk with your group, see if you guys can figure it out. I'll give you a few minutes. And then 7 and 8. So during 7 and 8, just look for those vocabulary words. Okay, and well, basically, we'll have the students look at their list, talk with their group on the last few. We got to number 8, and next class we'll do number 9 through 21. And so for this lesson is basically focused on teaching the students to pick up those vocabulary words and listen when they are communicating with other English speakers and with their classmates. And so after that activity is over, that's kind of the warm up, listening for those vocabulary words, starting to learn them and pick them out of a sentence. And the main activity of this lesson after that will be to have the students write their own sentences using one of those words that they circled on the paper. And so they will write their own sentence, create their own sentence, write it on a piece of paper by themselves. And then each student will, I'll walk over and kind of, make sure they're good, have them read it out loud, help them with pronunciation, with grammar in the sentence that they created, and have them do an action for that sentence to show the class. And so, for example, if the student is saying, I want, from the first video, I want it, or I want pizza, they'll pretend they're eating a pizza, or they'll show an action for what they want. And then the whole class will say the sentence and do the action. And so it's really helping those students to kind of do that through repetition and then also through listening and learning from their own classmates. And so it's not only listening is a focus, but there's other, writing and reading and speaking that will be involved into it a little bit too. And then at the very end of class, about 5 minutes, the students will have a little discussion. I'll kind of ask, what did you notice from these activities? How are you going to use it when you're communicating in English? And what was the hardest part of this exercise for you? And so they can kind of understand what they need to work on and what is hardest for them and what their needs are going forward as they learn English for their L2. And yeah, and that's it. And so say goodbye to the students. And that is all.